This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. News is also brought to you by Desert View Hospital. You can count on us.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Today is Wednesday, January 4th. Well, former NBA player Lamar Odom is stating in a new video recorded that late brothel owner Dennis Hoff tried to kill him. Odom says that he was drugged the night of his infamous 2015 overdose, which landed him at Desert View Hospital and then subsequently transported him to a Las Vegas trauma center. Lamar Odom says he didn't willingly use illegal substances the night that he overdosed at the Love Ranch brothel in Crystal, Nevada. He's now claiming that the owner, Dennis Hoff, fed him drugs. He also claims he doesn't know how the drugs wound up in his system when he overdosed and nearly died. News 25 recorded the exclusive video of Odom being transported and the interview with the workers at the scene at the ranch the night of the incident, which left the 43-year-old in a coma, unable to speak or walk, having suffered 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks. Well, the Department of Indigent Services is pleased to announce the appointment of Chris Arabia as the new head of the Nevada State Public Defender's Office. The appointment on December 30th of 2022 follows the retirement of Karen Krasenbeck. The Office of the State Public Defender was created by the Nevada legislature in 1971. Most recently, in 2019, it was placed under the auspices of the newly minted Department of Indigent Defense Services. The Department of Indigent Defense Services was created in 2019 by Assembly Bill 81 to oversee, support, and provide state resources to indigent defense providers throughout the state, primarily in rural counties. In the last fiscal year, the department was able to reimburse 8 rural Nevada counties in a total of $1,824,000 for indigent defense cost. Arabia's extensive work in Nevada's rural counties will be valuable, they say, as an asset in building on this success. Arabia has a diverse background, having worked as both a public defender and prosecutor. He received his Juris Doctorate at UCLA Law School in 1995 and has been licensed in Nevada since 2006. Over the past decade and a half, Arabia has served the Esmeralda County Public Defender, Northern Nye County Public Defender, and most recently as District Attorney here in Nye County. Arabia will be the first appointment to the position of the State Public Defender since the creation of the department. His insight from having worked in leadership roles on both sides of the aisle allows him to bring a unique perspective to the position, according to the department. And a bunch of people were sworn in yesterday here locally, as well as state representatives. We're going to show you a little bit of our governor getting sworn in.
Former Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo became Nevada's 31st governor on Monday when he was sworn in. His inauguration ceremony took place on Tuesday in Carson City. Also taking the ceremonial oath of office, administered by State Supreme Court Justice Linda Stiglich, was Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony, Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar, State Treasurer Zach Connie, Controller Andy Matthews, and Attorney General Aaron Ford. The inauguration ceremony took place at the Carson City Community Center that featured prayers, a speech, and a children's choir singing the state anthem, Home Means Nevada.
My fellow Nevadans, in the capital city of the Silver State, where so much of our history has been made, I stand before you to say, with overwhelming humility, that I am ready to serve as Nevada's 31st governor. Every time we meet on Nevada's front porch to inaugurate a governor, we honor the enduring strength of our state, and we reaffirm the extraordinary promise of America. As we assemble in the heart of the Golden West, I recognize that we Nevadans have been through a difficult couple of years. At times, it seems as if we were headed towards a destination unknown, or worse, unthinkable. Yet we buckled down, locked our arms, and corrected course. I first began hearing about these stories as a young man growing up in North Las Vegas, and I've spent my life believing in it. I call it the Nevada way.
And local authorities utilized the SWAT team to arrest a Pahrump man.
Local authorities utilized SWAT to arrest Pahrump man. On December 28, 2022, Nye County Sheriff's Office arrests Ricky Dean Nelson for the alleged charges of aggravated stalking. Prior to the arrest, News 25 covered a shooting involved Ricky Nelson's son, Jordan Nelson. Jordan allegedly shot several rounds at his ex-girlfriend's house in Pahrump on August 19, 2021. Fortunately, Nelson's ex-girlfriend and her 10-month-old son was not injured during the shooting. Nelson fled the scene and returned to his home on Dana Way, and once officers arrived at his residence, he began shooting at them. Nye County Sheriff's Office SWAT arrived and negotiators spoke to Nelson for 2 hours to try to get him to cooperate. Eventually, officers deployed tear gas into the residence and made entry. Once inside, deputies discovered Nelson with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Nelson was transported to Desert View Hospital by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue, where he was pronounced dead. News 25 spoke to Ricky Nelson, who told us he called the sheriff's office several times to report his son was depressed and suicidal. He went on to explain nothing was done to help him. In 2022, Nelson filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Nye County Sheriff's Office Captain David Berkowitz.
From what I'm understanding, Mr. Berkowitz talked my son into killing himself, and that's the way it went down. My son is my best friend, and I miss him now.
He is claiming that their son took his life during a standoff because Captain Berkowitz allegedly taunted their son to do it during the shooting back in 2021. News 25 spoke to former District Attorney Chris Arabia, who said there are several victims involved in the aggravated stalking case. At this time, no names of the victims are listed. Ricky Nelson was transported to the Nye County Detention Center for the alleged charges of aggravated stalking.
More news on the other side of this break.
Watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, police swarmed Smith's supermarket to search for a man who allegedly threatened another person with a gun.
Deputies were dispatched to Smith's supermarket on Highway 160 in Pahrump in reference to a person who brandished a weapon. Upon arrival, police made contact with the reporting party, who identified Kyle Brenneman as the suspect. Deputies searched the store and spoke to Brenneman, who had a firearm in a holster on his right hip. The suspect reportedly told officers that he confronted the victim because he believed he was shoplifting. According to the report, the two had a verbal altercation. Brenneman allegedly admitted to the deputies that he went outside to his motorhome, retrieved his firearm, and pointed it at the victim. The incident was witnessed by the victim's juvenile daughter, who said as she exited the store, she heard her dad say, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." She then saw Kyle pointing a firearm at him. She reported that Brenneman was challenging the victim by saying, come on, let's go." Deputies report that an employee at Smith's told them that they did not believe the victim was shoplifting. Kyle Brenneman was placed under arrest, where he is facing charges of assault with a deadly weapon. He was then transported to the Nye County Sheriff's Office Detention Center.
And local cannabis production facility, Green Life Productions, is moving a little closer to their dream of opening a marijuana lounge here in Pahrump.
A bill was proposed to begin issuing licenses for cannabis consumption lounges in Nye County and to impose a transferring tax.
It's also addressing the cannabis consumption lounges because, again, in our licensing section of the code, we did not have anything that addressed that. It was only cultivation, production, or sales. Another big change in this one, though, is that currently in our licensing code, as far as the taxes that are due for transactions out of these facilities, we did not have anything that would address a transfer from one facility to another facility within the same ownership. So basically what that meant was it could be grown in Nye County, cultivated in Nye County, or went, even through production in Nye County, then transferred to an intercompany dispensary in Clark County, and that is where the taxes are collected. So every other jurisdiction in Nevada that allows cannabis of any kind, production, cultivation, sales, whatsoever, has a transfer tax. And it's based off of the value that the CCB assigns to, per pound. And that transfer tax is collected just like it is on a final sale. So we did add some language in there so that that transfer tax would be due to Nye County if a transfer is an intercompany transfer or to another facility.
Through the chair. This is something that's been lacking because we know that we have that issue.
Yes.
Definitely. Appreciate that.
Yep. So yes, so now if that product moves either in its plant form, harvested form, or produced form, anywhere, it's going to have a tax applied to it, just like it would, with a facility that doesn't have dispensaries they own and production facilities that they own, that they're only cultivation.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt Nye County Bill number 2022-20 with an effective date of January 23rd, 2023.
Boscovich seconds.
Thank you, commissioners. Okay, no further discussion. I'd like to call for the vote, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Boscovich is aye.
DeBoer's aye.
Carboni's aye.
5-0.
Well, more news, including your health report on the other side of this break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
After Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest during Monday night's game against the Bengals, many fans are left with a lot of questions like, what exactly is cardiac arrest?
Cardiac arrest is a sudden electrical problem with the heart, so that the heart electricity becomes so chaotic that the heart can't beat and pump blood to the rest of the body anymore.
Dr. Michael Emery is a sports cardiologist for Cleveland Clinic. He says cardiac arrest can happen for all kinds of reasons, so it's hard to say what exactly happened with Damar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, who suffered cardiac arrest recently. That will be for his doctors to determine. When it comes to cardiac arrest, there are often no warning signs. It just happens suddenly. However, they can include chest pain, nausea, and vomiting, and shortness of breath before fainting. Dr. Emery says since cardiac arrest can be fatal, every second counts. So it's important the individual receive CPR or defibrillation right away.
Prompt recognition and prompt defibrillation in the setting of a sudden cardiac arrest are what are keys to survival. Your survivability declines 7 to 10% for every minute that defibrillation is delayed or restoration of sinus rhythm or spontaneous circulation is delayed.
Dr. Emery also notes that it's too early to talk about Hamlin's long-term prognosis. He says that there's a lot of factors to consider, but right now the goal will be keeping him stabilized. A lifetime dedicated to education and his beliefs, Richard Clark left his mark on Cleveland, and many have benefited from his devotion to the city and its residents. His recent passing leaves a gap difficult to fill. Kim Martinez reports.
The value of a Catholic school, particularly in a city, is immense.
Embedded in the Cleveland inner city community, you'd often hear Richard Clark talk about the importance of education and school choice for the underprivileged, which is why a big part of his life's work was to help save struggling Catholic schools.
In Cleveland, since 2000, 40% of the Catholic schools have closed.
Clark unexpectedly passed away recently, but he leaves behind a legacy at schools like Archbishop Like, where Clark often walked the halls.
All right, 3 it is.
In an on-camera interview just months before his passing, Clark talked about the years he poured his heart and soul into his work as a founding director of Partnership Schools, a group who successfully revamps Catholic schools in peril of closing and located in needy areas.
We believe that each student that comes through our school is going to graduate, be able to succeed in high school, college if they choose, have a moral compass, understand what it means to be part of a community.
See how that's in its own box, and this down here is in its own box.
Clark led the charge in Cleveland for the Partnership School Network, and he helped rescue 4 schools.
That's what this is really all about, is keeping an asset alive. We don't want them to go.
Those partnership schools he helped save, well, they're serving mostly immigrant, minority, or financially disadvantaged families.
First of all, is a good education, an academically good education.
Who are looking for a brighter future.
We also form a community here.
And he's now at rest after serving Cleveland.
Understand what it means to care about each other.
Until the very end.
In a sense, to be part of this city.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Well, it's been kind of dreary out there. I hear that we are in for a storm. We're going to find out more right after this break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios and worldwide on the local BTV app. Get that app on your phone today. Hey, check out Fernley at 35 degrees, the Cool Spot Award winner, but the Misery Index is shared as Fernley, Fallon, Carson City, and Tonopah are under a wind advisory. Big snowstorm, basically. Above 5,000 square feet, they're going to have like 3 feet of snow. Below 5,000 square feet, it's winds at 45 miles per hour. Stuff going sideways, rain, snow. It's going to be terrible. Watch out for that. Goldfield, at least you're spared all that misery at 36 degrees. Not too bad. Beatty, 48 degrees. Got the right attitude. 54 in Amargosa is our Hotspot Award winner. Las Vegas close behind at 50 degrees. And in Death Valley, 61. But here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look at Big Burley, 53 desert degrees, and go, hooray. It was 57 a little bit earlier. That felt pretty good. Winds out of the south-southeast at 12 miles per hour. 63% humidity all day long. The air was wet, that's for sure. 6:55 this morning. The sun rose in all its glory, hope, and promise. Set this evening at 4:42, and we missed it as it goes. But what a sunset. A low tonight at 49 degrees is where we're heading with 15-mile-per-hour winds and 62% humidity. Yeah, you bet we're going to get some rain tomorrow. Look at this, 93% chance of rain, and it's going sideways to the tune of 18 miles per hour. Cloudy day, going to be gross. But look at that. It blows out on Friday. We get a nice sunshiny Friday. That'll be pretty good. Saturday, Sunday looks like the clouds are rebuilding, and we head for some rain on Monday, Tuesday. A stormy Monday. Oh, but Tuesday's also bad. 50% chance of rain. We'll look forward to that, and the rain going sideways about 14 miles per hour. I guess we'll look forward to it. It could be worse. You never want to call the bottom, do you? All right. Happy New Year to you from the weatherman. Here's Deanna.
Definitely going to be wet around everywhere. We're definitely worried a little bit about what's going to be happening up there at the top of the mountain, especially with the cold temperatures. So we really want to make sure that travelers know to be careful, especially over the top of Mountain Springs. There's going to be some snow alerts and winter warnings going on. So if the road is having some issues up there, of course, they take out the snow plows. And sometimes it's best to use the 95 freeway if you can to go over the top of the hill. We do have a new development on that traffic cam that we have been working for a while that we are hoping to get at the top of Mountain Springs. And we had a meeting this morning about that. And we're hoping to get that installed so that people can see live shots of what's going on there at Mountain Springs. We'll keep you posted on all the developments. But it looks to be pretty good, the news right now. We want to let everybody know about a grand opening of a park that is happening tomorrow in Henderson. I'm super excited about this because I recently found out a lot about the monarch butterfly and their parks that they have by a friend of mine who actually is very involved in them. And there's going to be a monarch garden grand opening. This is happening at the monarch butterfly garden located at 350 East Galleria Drive. That's in Henderson. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. they are having a big grand opening, and there's also a bird viewing preserve there, and that seems to be a fantastic place to go see see and visit. For more information, you can, of course, look on our KPVM Facebook page. We have posted that flyer there as well. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25 from all of us here at KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. Have a great night.